the first constitution. It is information about the Atlantis civilization. Answer to the chains of thought. Our friends. Those who had established the advanced orders of the divine plans, who hold the present powers in their hands and who had established the orders of the advanced ages are the Atlanteans. They are the establishers of the solar system still unknown, possessing a very advanced civilization and a very advanced technology. Yes, you have not misunderstood. Maybe it will seem peculiar to you, but it is the Atlanteans who had found the essential materials of the solar systems, who had established them and who had put them in such an ordinance which operates by natural power. Later, this advanced civilization had continued its operations by establishing order in these systems they had established. The ordinance in that order, the system in that period have taken place in no other succession. Succession system, ordinance established anew. Their ancestors had established the Atlantis civilization, and their grandchildren had administered the universal orders. However, during the process of time, the civilization which had gone through a transformation by the different influences of the dimensional energies in which the genes and the natural energies were present had been divided into two classes. 1. The educative staff. 2. The administrative staff. The ones who educated were the men of religion. The directing staff who served under the light of the men of religion had carried out a just function. However, due to the differences which occurred in the views of their essence brothers and sisters who had come into existence through their genes and who existed in different cosmic mediums, essence characteristics gradually began to change, and with the dimensional energies the function of thinking became effective as a result of giving up the universal energies attracted through the brain. Part of the Atlanteans who did not lose their inherent essence characteristics divided into classes and preferred to establish different civilizations. Those who had established the underwater civilization in your planet had established a civilization called Atlantis, just like the Dragonians of present. The Atlantis civilization, which was a very developed, a just civilization, had been completely constituted by the priest staff and the classes of the clergy. And those priests had tried to establish a just civilization in the world by using the energies they attracted from the universal energy through their brain powers. This underwater civilization is, more or less, 2 billion years old in accordance with the history of the world. You have not been able to calculate exactly even the age of your old world yet. In fact, those are your ancestors. In the operations made until the succession of the last generation, dates are not important. The succession of the last generation is taken as 2 billion years. You have already made that calculation, more or less. The cause of destruction of Atlantis had been just like that of Sodom and Gomorrah period. The genes which had been degenerated by the degenerative influence of the generations belonging to the same blood and the same gene, and the decline which began to occur due to their losing their natural powers, had prepared the end of the Atlantis civilization. They had been annihilated by the influence of the advanced technological powers. The purpose is not to degenerate the established order, to preserve the universal equilibrium. The last Atlantis civilization was the priests, that is, the messengers of God, who had been the assistants of the advanced plans and who had taken shelter in the temples which had been established on the waterfalls. They were the 600 messengers accepted for salvation. And, at the moment, in your planet each one of those 600 messengers serves at the dimension of salvation. Each one of them performs the mission befalling on his or her part and bestows on the world 600 books in various cultural and scientific matters. The system endeavored to be established in your planet at the moment is bestowed on you by the help of the just Atlanta messengers. There is a principle here. This principle is the first constitution which had been present during the first establishment, that is, much before the universes, the systems established by the messengers of the advanced civilization. Now, we try to convey to you this constitution being loyal to its essence. The first principle in the law was as follows. 1. Whoever you are, so is your brother or sister. 2. Mothers are the mothers of all the children, fathers are the fathers of all the children. 3. In one morsel, partiality even as small as a wheat grain cannot be made. 4. Everything will be equally distributed to everyone. 5. One who does not radiate his or her love to his or her surroundings, who does not let flow his or her energy to his or her essence is transferred beyond the curtain of immortality. She is sent to the principle of existence program of reincarnation and karma. This was the initial foundation of the first constitution. Afterwards, various constitutions had come into effect. But they always stayed loyal to the initial basic rights. And the godly ordinances had been established by this way. The first constitution caused misleading interpretations in consciousnesses during the process of time. The family concept had been removed from mentalities when it was stated that each child belonged to each mother, each child belonged to each father. Thus, the degeneration began. Later, the mentality of assuming ownership by egos became effective, and afterwards, in each period the family concept has been assessed in accordance with individual consciousnesses. In fact, the truth was as follows. 1. Each mother, also, will not discriminate the children of other mothers from her own. 2. Each father would undertake, materially and spiritually, the responsibility of the other children, too, besides his own, and will carry it. This wonderful principle left its place, in time, to different interpretations in different consciousnesses. And various civilizations had been destroyed for this reason, and orders were established anew. The family order of Atlanta could never be established again, until today, in any other civilization. In order to establish that order anew, it is necessary to consider everything anew, and this is utterly impossible now. For this reason, with the efforts of establishing the most just orders, hierarchical orders had been established on the godly path, books had been revealed, different constitutions had been applied in accordance with the evolutionary level of each planet, and each directing staff had been connected to the next higher directing staff, and a single had been reached and his order had been projected on all the realms. Now, we invite you to the truth by this knowledge book, and we are hoping that you will help your brothers and sisters on this luminous path and the new order of our Lord. And we are working together with you on this path. Centered